Howdy y'all, and welcome back to another video. The answer is a resounding yes. The Nikon Z9 is absolutely worth it for videographers in videography work. And I have 5 points that I'm going to share with you guys on why I believe that's true. Jump right in at number 1, we're gonna talk about autofocus. It's a hot topic. Everybody wants to talk about it. Everybody debates about it. I'm not here to compare. I'm not here to try to convince you that the Z9 has the best autofocus. Of course, it has its flaws. It's not always perfect, but it is completely reliable, leaps and bounds ahead of the Z6, Z7, 6.2, 7.2, 50, all the whole rest of the Z lineup. It is definitely better. It's crazy. I do weddings, I do real estate, I do interviews, podcasts, and I have some projects coming up this year, and I don't have any doubts. It hasn't failed me, and I don't feel like it's going to fail me. I feel like I can throw anything at it and it'll be able to handle it. So if you still have any reservations when it comes to the autofocus of the Z9 or Nikon in general, this camera is not going to disappoint. Number 2, we're going to talk about cost. This is going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to try to get through it really quick, but I think it's important to talk about cost when it comes to these cameras. Also, I'm going to try to deck these cameras out. I'm putting the max stuff in them because these are higher end cameras and you want to get the most out of them, and they boast all of these specs, and you don't want to then limit it with not top of the line stuff. So anyways, with that said, I am going to compare it to the Canon R3 and the Sony A1. And the reason I'm using those 3 cameras, I know there's a lot more out there, but they seem to be the 3 cameras that get compared to each other the most. So I'm just going to stick with that theme and go from there. All right, Z9, $5,496.95. Okay, spare battery will run you $198.36. It is a 3,300 milliamp hour battery, and that'll be relevant in a little bit. This is where things start getting a little bit more interesting between these cameras. The Z9 runs dual CF Express Type B memory card slots. That's really important for a few different reasons that I'll kind of touch base on as we move along here, but it is very nice that they're the same. I'm gonna use these pro grade Cobalt 650 gig cards. They have a read speed of 1700 megabytes a second and a write speed of 1500 megabytes a second, which is very, very fast. But anyways, back to the cost. $1,385.99 for 2. Grand total of the Z9 with all of that stuff is $7,081.30. Okay, there's that. Canon R3, we're gonna jump up a little bit. The body is $5,999, but you're only getting a 24 megapixel sensor, up to 6K RAW, which again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And they actually don't have the same card slot, as you'll see here in a second. Spare battery, $169, so $30 cheaper than the Z9's battery, but it's 2,700 milliamp hours. So you're losing 600 milliamp hours. Take it for what it is, but you know, you are kind of losing quite a bit of power there. So just another thing to consider. But like I mentioned, it's one CF Express Type B slot and then one SD card slot that can go up to the UHS Type 2, I believe it is. So we're gonna use the same 650 gig card from the Z9, that pro grade Cobalt, and one of those is $769.99. 770 bucks, but one 512 gigabyte. So that's the biggest I could find for the SD card. Still a pro grade, just trying to keep things even here. Will run you $499.99, 500 bucks. And to me, that's crazy. The fact that you can't use the full capabilities of the camera on that card when it comes to video, and yet the price is, I mean, it's only what, $270 different? I mean, that just, I don't know. To me, again, that seems like a big cost to then not be able to use more of the capabilities. That grand total comes out to $7,437.98, which is $356.68 more than the Z9. So you're not even getting all that extra stuff with the cards and the higher resolution and all that kind of stuff. But it's more expensive. Now, real quick, we'll go through the A1. This is outrageous. Anyways, the body alone is gonna run you $6,498. So 6,500 bucks basically. And that's not even a pro body. If they threw in the vertical grip, I could understand a little bit more, but they don't. You still have to pay separate for the vertical grip. The spare batteries for the Sony, and I'm using the name brand ones. I know there can be cheaper ones, but their replacement battery is 78 bucks. So a lot better than the R3 and the Z9, but you're also just getting a smaller battery. But the vertical grip is 398 bucks, 400 bucks. That's a lot. The A1 uses CF Express Type A cards, and I've done a little bit of research on this. I cannot find a good explanation, so if you have one, please let me know in the comments. But these cards are so much more expensive than Type B cards, and they have like half the read-write speeds. So for two, because the A1 runs two Type A slots that are 640 gigs each, so you're not, 10 gigs less than the Type B cards that we were looking at, $249.99. $2,500 just for two memory cards. So that puts us at a grand total of $9,473.90. And to complete the pro body build that I'm doing, I have to get two more batteries, because you can put two batteries in the vertical grip. And so if you're treating those two as one, like you would in a, like the Z9 or the R3, you need two more to replace them whenever those two die. So throwing in two more batteries at $78 a pop, that moves our grand total to $9,629.90, $2,548.60 more than the Z9. Now, I'm not trying to convince anybody to switch or whatever. I'm just simply saying that if you are considering the Z9 from a video standpoint, and cost is something that you're concerned about, 100% worth it. It's got better video specs than those two cameras. Maybe not every camera, obviously, but in this comparison, I think that it outperforms in the video world, and it's significantly cheaper. Moving right along now to number 3, it's just, I kind of touched on it, but just the codecs, the resolution, the frame rates. This camera does not leave you for wanting. Everybody's talked about the fact that it has 8K in RAW, 12-bit internal. It does exist in the camera, and you can use it, and that is incredible. It also has ProRes RAW. It has ProRes 422 HQ. It has 10-bit H.265. And for a camera company like Nikon, who's never been known for video and does not have any cinema cameras, like dedicated cinema cameras like the other companies do, it's incredible. And I do want to just point out that I think that's a great sign of what's to come with Nikon, because they've done it. And that technology, is going to trickle down into future cameras. Number 4 is a little bit different. It's actually an accessory, but it is the MCN10, I believe it is, grip that goes to the camera via USB-C, and it's actually powered by 2 AA batteries, so it doesn't drain power from the camera. But when you look at it, it's just the right hand grip of the Z9. It's got the on-off button, it's got the record button, it's got the shutter button. You can change your aperture and shutter speed. You have 2 function buttons that you can assign to it. You can change focus with it. You can do a playback menu with it. And where this becomes really useful, especially someone like me that does a lot of real estate work and weddings where I'm using a gimbal quite a bit, and you don't want to be reaching up trying to grab that right grip all the time. That's crazy that now you can be holding your gimbal. Now you have a right handhold that you can use, and you can control all of those different things right from the grip instead of having to reach up. I don't actually have one yet. I am planning on getting one this spring probably, And I will definitely be doing a review on it and letting you guys know how it works, if there's any quirks with it and stuff like that. And I'm really looking forward to trying it out and seeing how it improves my shooting workflow. And the fifth and final point that I want to bring up is firmware updates. I know this might sound a little weird, but if you've followed Nikon at all, when version 2 came out, the firmware came out, that's when they added the 8K 60 in RAW. They added like a laundry list of video features. And they did another similar thing when version 3.0 came out. And these are free firmware updates, and you feel like you're almost getting a brand new camera whenever you get them. They add so much functionality, so many little improvements. It's just crazy, and it goes back again, and I already kind of said it, but it's such a great sign for Nikon. One, for current users, feel very taken care of and very listened to. It doesn't feel like they're just trying to put out a product and act like it's already perfect. They're listening to the users and then making those improvements. But I do think that Nikon has more than exceeded expectations when it comes to this camera. And more importantly, they've put themselves back in the running and really shown off some incredible stuff and made themselves a legitimate contender in this sort of hybrid photo video shooter world where a lot of people are doing both and have small companies or doing online content or whatever it is. So yeah, I think that it's definitely worth looking into. So that wraps up this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I know that was kind of long-winded. It was just kind of a rant, but I just feel like it kind of needed to be said. I don't have much of a platform or voice, but I do strongly believe in these cameras, or this camera in particular. I have thoroughly enjoyed using it. I've had it for almost a year now. Like I said before, it has exceeded my expectations. I feel like it can handle every single thing that I throw at it for video and even photo, which we didn't really get into in this video, but I know there's a lot of hybrid people out there like me, trying to do it all. And so having that camera that can do it all is definitely nice to have. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, or if you believe I got anything wrong, you will not offend me, please put it down in the comments. Yeah, we can have a discussion. So that'll be it. And until the next one, see ya.